Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Nxt 2.0. I am Gene Okerlund, here with Trini Kwan and with Way Barrett. And today on Nxt 2.0, we got Holy Fellow Nicholas, or Father Yule, or the Heavenly Gift Giver. And also, here comes the owner of the TWF, Xena. Ho ho ho! We want to wish everyone a happy Yule. And I know, Holy Fellow Nicholas says, that the gathering of lights ended yesterday after going on for 8 days. So we want to wish everyone a happy gathering of lights for those Jewish folk out there who had done the gathering of lights. And the next up for everyone is Yule for us Christendom folk. And then a gathering of followership for all you, I could say, Sunlanders out there, or black folk who do the gathering of followership. I guess there's 8 days of that, and that's coming at the end. Now, Yule is about the birth of Jesus, Son of God, the Lord of Lords, the Earl of Earls, the King of Kings, the Kaisers of Kaisers, the Fanes of Fanes, and the Kinglings of Kinglings. That's right, Santa. You're right about that. You see, God so loved the world that much and forgave the world that much that God had made an oath that He would send us His Son. His Son that would free us and heal us from sin. A Son who would be flawless and sinless in every way. A Son who would come to earth to heal, to help the blind see and the deaf hear, and the walkless walk, and the lame walk. A Son who befriended folks who were sinners themselves, who did not believe there was any good in them, but Jesus saw good in them. A Son who would willingly yield up His life and take on the sins of all mankind and all womankind, the sins of those who had lived and died, the sins of those who were alive, and the sins of those who were not yet born yet. And since God so loved the world, God willing to put Jesus through that. And Jesus was willing to go through all that. And through God's love and God's forgiveness, and through Jesus' death and Jesus' blood, we now have that forever life. We now have that. We now are now free and cleaned of the sin that once was on us. You see, Lucifer lost when Jesus came to earth. When God brought Jesus to earth, Lucifer lost. When Jesus died for our sins, Lucifer lost again. Because God loved us that much, God was willing to put Jesus through that. And Jesus was willing to go through it. And through His death, we now have forever life. And our sins have been cleaned. You are right, Santa Claus. That is what Yule is all about, Xena said, onlooking the birth of Jesus, Son of God. Onlooking the King of Kings, the Kaiser of Kaisers, the Earl of Earls, the Lord of Lords, the Fane of Fanedoms, and the Overlords of Overlords. And also, at the end of the day, the Kinglings of Kinglings. And now, Xena said, we hope that when you give out gifts to others, you are giving the gifts in the same thoughtfulness, in the same way that God gave us, Jesus, to us as a gift. The same way the wise men, who took many years, and some a long time, to come up with the most flawless gift for the Son of God. And for that is why we do Yule. You're right about that, Xena. And thank you for coming here today. Thank you, Xena, for letting me be here today on Nxt 2.0 to talk about all this. Well, I'll tell you once again, Xena said, You are welcome, holy fellow Nicholas. You are welcome, heavenly gift giver. You are welcome, Father Yule. I work for God and Jesus. I give out the gifts to onlook God and Jesus, for Jesus being given to us as a gift by God. Well, the owner Xena was here today on Nxt 2.0 with holy fellow Nicholas, Father Yule, the heavenly gift giver, here today too. And now we got Biggie Langston. We just heard from the owner Xena and Santa Claus, a man who I once played back in 2009, 29 between YL. And a lot of folks are going to say a lot of things. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is there's this hang-up that's over my head. His name is Seth Rollins. But that goes beyond that, because that's going to happen soon. And I don't seem to know where my belt's at. So the way I look at it, Kevin Owens, Belasca, if you two gotta hang up with me, then by all means, let's do something about it. And sadly, I don't know where my winnings went. It's nowhere. I don't know where it went. Fuck. So forgive me when I'm doing that. There we go. So by all means, why don't you come out here and do something about it? Well, here comes Kevin Owens now, Gene Okerlund says, along with Belasca. And I hear today that it's going to be a candy cane strike match, Gene Okerlund said. Well, who came up with that? I mean, who came up with that oversight? I don't know. I don't know who came out with that oversight, but whoever did, came up with that oversight, here we go. Shit. Ding ding ding. Well, I don't know who came with that oversight, Trini Kwan said. And now, right now, Biggie Langston beating out Belasca and Kevin Owens with those sweet staffs. Trini Kwan said, yeah, Gene Okerlund said Biggie Langston's had a hang up with Belasca and Kevin Owens. And if Belasca and Kevin Owens win this fight, then that means they already been inputted into this match, Gene Okerlund says. Oh, with the Seth Rollins match. And right now, Belasca taking Biggie Langston and knocked him down with the Hersey staff. And now once again, Kevin Owens got his Hersey staff and him with it. I tell you what, Wade Barrett says, how is Biggie Langston going to get by Seth Rollins, Belasca, and Kevin Owens? How is he going to get by that bind? I don't know. Oh, a stunner on Velasquez, on Biggie Langston by Kevin Owens, Gene Okerlund says. I don't know, Gene Okerlund said. I'll tell you what, Trini Kwan said. There's no way to do that. Oh, a stunner by Velasquez on Biggie Langston. And what's Seth Rollins doing out there now? We all know Seth Rollins doesn't like Biggie Langston. Biggie Langston getting back up now. The big ending on Velasquez. The big ending on Kevin Owens. He's going to beat them both, Gene Okerlund said. Well, let's hope so, Trini Kwan says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. Here is your winner of the candy cane of the Fleet Staff match. Big E Langston. Uh-oh, Seth Rollins is hit. Oh, curve stomp on Big E Langston. Curve stomp on Kevin Owens. A curve stomp on Velasquez. Uh-oh, Big E Langston got back up. Big ending on Seth Rollins. Biggie Langston thinks he's got everything under run, Gene Okerlund said. Look out! Gene Okerlund said that was Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley beating up on Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Velasquez here. Gene Okerlund said, why would Bobby Lashley come out and do that for? Trini Kwan said, I don't know, Wade Barrett said, but I guess he feels shamed that he wasn't being talked about as far as the TWF heavyweight winnings went. At least that's my belief. At least that's my belief of what happened. Gene Okerlund said. Well, I don't know, Trini Kwan said what happened, but I was sure that Bobby Lashley beating up on all 4 of these men was sad. Well, beating up on 3 men and 1 woman, Trini Kwan said, still shameful either way you look at it, Trini Kwan says. Bobby Lashley has done shameful things for during most of his first run in IW, first run in TNAW, and his 2-fold run in TNAW before it became IW, and his 2-fold run in WWE. And I do know Jim Ross now, Trini Kwan said, Bobby Lashley is being a creep again and a heel. Wait, I'll tell you what, right now, Wade Barrett said, Bobby Lashley has every right to do it. Because sadly, Bobby Lashley wasn't being talked about, and wasn't being thought about when this match was put together. Well, Gene Okerlund said, there could have been many ways that Wade Barrett said, that's why he did what he did. There could have been many ways that Bobby Lashley could have handled it. But he chose to handle it, sadly, that way, Gene Okerlund said. And now, Jim Ross going to talk with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, I don't know if you're that same man that I hired many years ago from OVW and brought you to WWE. But now you're behaving like a creep. Oh, why'd you do what you do? I'll tell you what, Jim Ross. I was not that same man that came from OVW into WWE, that went to TNAW, then BF, then IW, into WWE again. I'm not that same Bobby Lashley. Yes, Jim Ross, you did bring me from OVW to WWE many years ago, and you did see a lot of big things in me. And yes, I'm a former IW heavyweight winner 4 times. A former WWE heavyweight winner 1 time. And I'm not being talked about. Velasquez and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are going to fight Big E Langston, but not me. Well, I'm telling you right now, Jim Ross, I might not have no James E. Cornette or Jimmy Hart or Clarence Mason or Theodore Long. I might not have any brother love or any overseer with me, but I could do as much talking as they could. I have no Bobby Heenan with me either. But I'm going to tell you right now, I want to be. You shame me? That's what happened. Well, even if Bobby Lashley had an overseer with him, it would still be shameful behavior, even if he or she spoke for him or not. Well, shame on you, Bobby Lashley. Back to you, Gene Okerlund. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with Bobby Lashley here on NXT 2.0. But I understand that's all the time we got here for NXT 2.0. I am Gene Okerlund for Trini Kwan and Wade Barrett. We hope you like NXT 2.0, and we'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday Night Dynamite. That's what TNT calls it. I don't know if that's what AEW calls it.